Life, the series, narrator David Attenborough. And it's making me think of a good topic for Master of Science in Ecocentric Worldview. Let's say we are understanding the importance of the biosphere for our lives and the concept of life on this planet or in this universe as we know it, because it takes like a sentient and sapient creature to know it, and obviously we don't. But let's say extraterrestrials came, passed this way, and just in time, because we pass all our tipping points of what we can do. But let's say these extraterrestrials were like, oh my god, we can still help you guys, and we can see you are unable to help your own selves. Quite accurate. And they're going to say, well, we're going to create 3 industries, and we only ask you to work 20 hours a week each, and we'll provide you clean technology to allow you to do this. And then when you succeed at this, eventually we'll come back and upgrade this technology that you don't have to go through this cycle again. So the industries would be, well, first is to meet the needs of your species. And I don't say first as in a priority. I'm just mentioning it first because, the other ones might blow your mind a little bit and you might kind of be against it. But, if you're pro-life, you wouldn't be against it. But anyways, woohoo, monetary paradigm, magical, religions, supernatural, woohoo. So the first one is meet the needs. Now needs, not wants, needs of everyone. So needs could fall under things like shelter, food, water, but also some social needs. Okay, so that means your cultures, music, dancing, sports, whatever, they could be involved in there too. So you'll have plenty of time for those things. Except one of the things that made you a bad species, by the way, is how your own senses got you addicted. I don't know if they know, but CBC was talking about it today. Today's Labor Day, 2025. They're talking about how smell, and by the way, taste, last I heard, taste is about 90% smell and 10%, flavor. Flavor is 90% smell, 10% taste, and often taste, aside from the basic 4, a bitter, sour, salty, sweet, is taste gives us a lot of sensations of texture. So sometimes something is a lot about the texture. You ever notice this? You really love something for the texture. So capitalism, industry, and also, opposable thumbs, although, monkeys have double opposable thumbs and they haven't screwed up in that way, is you have made yourself addicted to eating everything, in part because you've had access to it and you've pushed away, other species that are a better fit to not unbalance the biosphere's complex interconnections, but you've also kind of learned different ways to cook things or to, enjoy your foods, right? There's a lot of ways. Let's say if you catch a rabbit, there's a lot of ways to cook that rabbit, and then there's a lot of spices, blah blah blah, you can mix with it. So because of this, and because of just developing an addictive consumer type programming in your brain, which is in big part is one of the domestication syndromes that controls you, is you've become an overconsumer, right? So when food is provided in this thing, it won't be to indulge your addictions. It'll be to meet your needs, but make it enjoyable to meet your needs. Part two is some other people work in an industry that is meant to clean up things. Okay, and there's a lot of ways to describe this. Cleaning up, it means making it healthy. Like I'm watching these fish that are eating what's on the skin or the teeth in the mouth of the hippopotamus, and that's a symbiosis, by the way, and we're capable of various forms, and we actually have bacteria that help us digest our food. So it exists within us as well. It's one of the ways life evolved on this planet. Collaborations and cooperation and symbiosis, more than competition. Much more than competition is why we're here today. More about win-win scenarios, okay? So cleaning has to be not just what we find clean, but with other species find clean as their environments. So that means, for example, removing plastics. But then there's also detoxify. So I'm not putting plastic in that category, but I could, I guess. Decommission things, getting rid of our, let's say, radioactive uh, byproducts, or other pollutants that aren't supposed to be part of the biosphere in the way we've put them in there. That would be the third industry. Now, people can, especially if they live in certain locations, uh, they can kind of work all three at the same time in their 20 hours, or they could, change from time to time. And it's good for your brain if you change, right? Learning is good for your brain, and it makes you enjoy the challenges of life. Okay, and you'll meet other people who might have a different recipe for your rabbit, if that's an example of the food you might eat. Okay, so it has to be that you are kind of wanting to do this when the extraterrestrials propose it, and of course you won't. You won't because your intellectual laziness is gone, but you also have industries, right? Fossil fuel, etc. Tech that will kind of convince you through these conspiracies or misinformation that the extraterrestrials don't have good motives, right? They're not altruistic, even though there won't be any evidence. They'll just you'll easily be convinced they're demons or they have ulterior motives when it's not true, and that'll be easy for your stagnation to kick in and just keep doing what you're doing, which is accelerating the Anthropocene and evolving. But let's say this scenario exists where the majority of people win and they want to do this and they're excited and they're impressed, and the conspiracies or public campaigns of disinformation from these big industries or religions or elites, people that believe in AI when all the evidence is AI is going to accelerate the Anthropocene. It's not going to save you. Saving you is doing the work on yourselves. And I said it before, it's developing an ecocentric worldview. It's acknowledging the disease you suffer from, HSD, and also, partaking in life skills training from now on to forever. And hopefully, eventually, every generation, it'll be something that comes to you so naturally that, you would maybe become the role models of the species on this planet who can, role model how evolution came to be through cooperations, collaborations, and win-win scenarios. And these extraterrestrials that might not have known they were going to do this, they just kind of accidentally pass by and notice, they'd be so proud that you finally become something worthy of this planet.